What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Mike FX speaking, and we're back again with another video. Welcome. This is the weekly analysis. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm sorry that this video came a bit late. Today is a Tuesday. As you can see, it's about 12 in the morning, and I'm still working. And I just thought, let me just record this video, and so that we can get the the ball rolling here. So I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys are well rested and are ready to tackle the markets for this week, right? So we'll take a look at a couple of pairs. We'll take a look at a couple of pairs, analyze some couple of pairs, and then hopefully you guys can take something from these videos and apply it to your trading plan and see if you can get some profits this week, right? Thank you so much. Please, one thing I want to ask of you guys, please make sure that you like the video, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you leave a comment below, and tell me your thoughts and views on some of the pairs that we are looking at this week, right? So the first pair that I want us to look at is EURAUD. EURAUD has been very interesting lately. So as you can see, we'll just start from the daily time frame, and right from that, I think you can see that we are kind of in this down trend here. As you can see, price just after that huge push to the upside there, it just started going down, and it's been going down ever since, right? We've not been breaking highs, and I don't want to draw the resistance part here, but you can clearly see that we are forming this potential downtrend, right? Lower highs and lower lows on the daily. And if you jump in on the 4-hour, I think you'll see that the 4-hour kind of looks more bullish. We are seeing higher highs and higher lows being created. We'll just take this one. We do see higher highs and higher lows being printed. So let me just do that. Okay, it's okay right here. And yeah, you can just see higher highs and higher lows. You could potentially put this one here, maybe somewhere here. Yeah, I think this looks a bit proper. So you can see higher highs and higher lows on the 4-hour, and if you can zoom in a bit more and kind of look at the most recent price action, you'll see that even here we still have higher highs and higher lows being created, right? We see higher highs and higher lows. I think you can just take this one and put it somewhere there. Let me just drag this one back. Let me just delete this one because I think you can see we have an ascending type pattern here, which means we're making higher highs and higher lows still on the 4-hour, which means the short-term movement is bullish, but overall this market is going down. This pair is going down, as you saw on the daily, right? And if you can just look closely at what is happening, you could be taking sales expecting price to break here, but right now in the current situation we are making higher highs and higher lows. We are making higher highs and higher lows. As you can see, right now we broke this high right here and we closed above there to create a higher high, right? This whole high, and we pushed significantly. As you can see, if you can look clearly there, we saw a break out with this huge candle. It broke out, and then this one kind of rejected, giving us a retest, break and a retest, and a very huge momentum to the upside. And as you can see, price stayed up, and then now it came back to retest this area, which was a resistance, now turned support, right? A resistance, and now support, right? So it's interesting to see that if you can look clearly at what price is doing there, and just go to the 1 hour, you'll see that price is rejecting very much. So it's rejecting, we're getting huge wicks there, dodgies. If you can look clearly, that's a morning star. You can see a push to the downside, dodgy, and a momentum correction, and it engulfs these two candles to the upside, right, showing a lot of momentum to the upside. So on Euro AUD this week, I'm really expecting price to start pushing up from here. First, your first TP could be around these areas here, and your second TP could be probably up there in that level of resistance, right? But just for this week, we are expecting price to push above, to push up to these areas here, to these highs, probably break even above, and paint higher highs, right? So that is what I'm expecting to see. But before I execute, I'm waiting for, sorry about that, you guys. But before that happens, I want to see price kind of give me a nice push and close above these areas here. If price can close above these areas here, I'd be interested to take my long positions, probably on a break and retest of this area. But right here, still a bit of risk, still a bit of a risk entry, but it's still a good trade down there, right? So that's Euro AUD. Let's just keep things moving. Let's go to gold and start on the 4 hour. Let's just keep things moving, right? As you can see, gold has been on this upward trend, high highs and high lows. If you can spot it, we are on an uptrend, and right now, if you zoom in, I'm sorry that I already drew my analysis here, but it's just to make this video short. I don't want to make it too long, right? So as you can see, high highs and high lows still being created there, and as you can see, price rejected this area. We rejected there, gave us kind of a nice double top. So it will be interesting to see if price, when price gets to these levels, if we're breaking here or if we're bouncing off this level to create even higher highs. But I'm still more bullish on gold. I'm interested to see what price does in these areas here. This area here that has been created. Now you saw price came down and pushed up. It will be interesting. We'll be interested to see what price does when it gets here again, which it probably will on Wednesday or Thursday or even tomorrow on Tuesday. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get a nice shooting star there or a hammer. I'd be interested to take longs there, right? So gold is probably going to push up to these areas and even higher. Let's keep things moving, and then we'll take a look at EURUSD. EURUSD, we saw that nice buy from last week. We are still holding those buys from last week. After this nice descending wedge, we saw price break and retest that push up. We haven't reached our 90%, so I'll be taking buys all the way up there. It's just very simple on EURUSD. Let me just delete this so that I can show you something. If you can see, we are making low highs. I'm not sure about lower lows, but we're making lower highs, which tells me we are in a correction, right? And you can see price is moving very correctively now. So whenever price breaks this area, I'd be looking for my longs. All the way up there. So EURUSD still bullish for this week. Let's just keep things moving. We'll take a look at NASDAQ, probably US30 if we still have time. I just want to keep this video very short. Let's go on the 4-hour. Let me just, but it's I think I was thinking about erasing everything and starting afresh, but you guys can see on the 4-hour it's an uptrend. We are still in the uptrend, creating higher highs and higher lows, right? From here, high, low, here, high, low, high, low, high. So we'll be interested to see if price comes down to print a low. Price has to come down eventually and print this low and test this area of support, proved by that is being proved by this kind of ascending pattern within our huge ascending pattern, which means price could potentially break to these areas here. So that is what you could expect from EURUSD. But for this week, I'm looking at price. Let me just extend this. For this week, you can see that price is really rejecting these areas here. We are rejecting this area here. We rejected a couple of times. We didn't quite get there yet. Again, rejected this area and started to push to the downside very impulsively. So, and then another corrective move up, a push, very heavy push to the downside. We corrected up, and it'd be interesting to see what price does when it gets up to these areas again, right? We could potentially see price drop from here and test these areas of support, and we don't know if we break, probably even lower, right? But there's something interesting I want to show you guys that is happening here on EURUSD. Let me just on Nasdaq. Let me just remove this so that you can see it more clearly. As you can see, after this huge push, right? After this huge push, the market has not broken highs or lows, right? The market has not broken highs or lows. We are still trapped in this area here. So if you can look clearly, we have a nice symmetrical triangle there, which is, those of you guys who know, this is a continuation pattern. So the more chances that price could break these areas and shoot higher and make even higher highs all the way to our level of resistance there, this level here. So price could potentially push all the way up there, or because we are still seeing a sell, so probably price could come down to this area here before eventually shooting from here all the way up, right? That could be a potential scenario. Or another thing that could potentially play out when I was looking at a Nasdaq is we could potentially see a descending type pattern before we break. We could see price probably come down here, from here maybe give us a double bottom before eventually shooting to the upside, right? Before shooting to the upside to create that high all the way up there. Sorry about that. All the way up there. So we could see price drop to these areas here, give us a nice level of support there, and before shooting up, right? So, but for this week, I'm still bearish until we break these areas here. I'm still bearish. So, but you have to look at price action to see what exactly the market is telling you, so that you can make these decisions, right? But for now, I'm still more bullish. For short term, I'm bearish on Nasdaq up until we get to these areas, or that triangle there, these areas here, and then we'll see what price does when it gets here, if it's gonna reject and start pushing up, right? Next, let's take a look at US30. US30, that's close with US30, right? Interesting high highs and high lows, as you can see from the indices have been on an uptrend. High highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, and all of that stuff. Sorry. And if you jump to the 4-hour, you'll see that we have a significant area here that price came to and rejected here for the first time. This was a record high, and then it dropped all the way to touch these areas, and it came back again here to forming a nice ascending type pattern, or a flag, a bearish flag you can call it. And we saw a heavy drop to the downside, and price came up, and you need to recognize that this time price kind of rejected here, but what's important is that price did not drop all the way to touch these areas here, which tells me that the sellers are losing the momentum now. The sellers are really losing the momentum, and buyers are kind of stepping into this market. As you can see, price is consolidating on these areas. If you can look closely, maybe just jump on the 1 hour, you'll see that we have kind of broken through our record high, closed above, came down, closed above again, closed above for the third time. So we are forming a bullish flag. Or a rectangle, or a consolidation, whatever you want to call it. And it's interesting that I'm seeing price kind of grab liquidity or convince sellers to jump on the market with this close below this area here. So it's interesting to see that price, after that, it did not stay there long, as you can see, confirmed by these two bullish candles that closed above now. So US30 is definitely bullish. There's no reason to be looking for price to come all the way down. So I'm definitely bullish on US30. You can be looking for buys, just wait for your confirmations and take a buy all the way up here, maybe for tomorrow, Tuesday, and then we'll have to see if price breaks, retest, and shoots to the upside. So that is just it on our weekly analysis. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you please make sure that you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment. Thank you guys, much love. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.